talk to a camera and hopefully not talk to it for very long. The Houston Texans drop an embarrassing loss to the Tennessee Titans. Oh, man, it does not feel good right now. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead. Your host, as always, Harley Duke. And remember, guys, this is The Lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. You're never going to find anybody about talking with more passion about your favorite sports teams than this guy right here. Astros, Rockets, Texans. I try to do it all. And especially right now, I'm going to give you the most passion you can find about this Houston Texans team. They were an embarrassment today. Absolutely embarrassing loss by this Texans squad. You dropped a loss to the Tennessee Titans, a team that was 2-8, now 3-8, something like that. 32-27 was the final score. Man, where to begin? The Houston Texans are pretenders. Let's clear that up. The Houston Texans are legitimate pretenders. I thought that was pretty much solved after the loss against the Detroit Lions. That loss for me kind of sold the season for me because it felt like there was nowhere to go when it comes to the Texans and the inadequacies from this offense. The defense did not have a good game today. But I can't put this on the defense. I can't, because the defense week in and week out has given you multiple opportunities to win games, and they have been the biggest reason why you have this record, and the biggest reason why you also have this record and also are underperforming. It is because of three reasons, and three reasons alone. It is because of Bobby Slowick. Yeah, for sure. It is because of the offensive line. Yes, absolutely. It is also because C.J. Stroud has not shown up this year for the Houston Texans. And we should have saw this week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts. You almost lost to them. And C.J. Stroud made some plays here and there to get you through. One of the biggest plays was that sideline pass to Nico Collins. But Nico's back. Well, I mean, you didn't look good against the Dallas Cowboys last week. That was an unimpressive win. And this was what I meant by an unimpressive win. I meant the Texans showed nothing last week to drop the notion that they were going to be back and they were just going to dominate these next two games and be 9-4. Yes, was I hoping? Absolutely. But this game does not shock me whatsoever. It is the same conversation we have had about the Houston Texans week in and week out. The offense can't score in the second half. The defense has scored more points in the second half than the offense has since week 6 against the New England Patriots. This Texans offense is abysmal. C.J. Stroud looks like shit. Bobby Slowick looks like shit. The offensive line looks like shit. We got to throw some of this on C.J. Stroud. And by some of this, I mean a lot of this. C.J. Stroud has not played well, and I'm tired of people trying to hide the horrible performances by him. This was a horrible performance. Just like last week against the Dallas Cowboys, he had a horrible game. 254, no touchdowns, 1 interception against the Dallas Cowboys. And then you follow it up with this. You follow up a second half blunder from the Detroit Lions and drop no touchdowns against a Dallas Cowboys team. And then you go, hey, you know what? We're facing the Titans. They have no secondary. Their secondary is Swiss cheese. They got rookie out there, and kudos to Jarvis Brownlee, who has been fantastic for the Tennessee Titans. Made a hell of a play against Tank Dell where he punched the ball out on what would have been a really big gain for the Texans offense. Didn't happen. C.J. Stroud played like shit. Come on. And I know y'all going to come after me. I know this comment section is not going to be happy about me talking about old and mighty, powerful C.J. Stroud, but he has not played good. That is the conversation that needs to be had. Yes, we could talk about Bobby Slowick. Yes, we could talk about the offensive line. But Bobby Slowick's ultimate crutch at the end of the day is going to be that the offensive line is not playing well enough for him, and C.J. Stroud is not playing well enough for him. I'm sorry, fans. At the end of the day, that is going to be the crutch for Bobby Slowick. You better hope that some other team hires him. And who would? Who would hire a Bobby Slowick after this year? After all the offseason hype, after everything we were doing to hype up this team this offseason, it has been abysmal at best. This offense is embarrassing. The Houston Texans are embarrassing. It is so sad that you had more fans show up for a Dallas game than they did today against the Tennessee Titans, who they just beat the crap out of you. And this is why I was worried. I was worried because the Titans' defensive line, as long as you have a good defensive line, you can beat the Texans. As long as your defensive line is good, you have an absolute fighter's chance of beating the Houston Texans because the offensive line is so bad and so inadequate, and they cannot communicate. They don't have any awareness. The O-line's coach, Chris Strausser, should be packing his bags as I speak. Bobby Stoic could be doing the same thing, but I'm sorry. At the end of the day, that's the crutch. How can he form plays if the offensive line ain't doing its job and if C.J. Stroud's not going to be able to be a competent quarterback? I'm waiting for C.J. Stroud to show up. He has not. I'm waiting for it. It's been like this for quite some time now, and nobody wants to throw the blame his way. We want to talk about passing yards. I don't give a damn about passing yards. C.J. Stroud has not looked good. The Texans' offense has not looked good, and this is ridiculous that you fall to 7-5 to a team that should have been nowhere near this team in terms of the competition level. I get it's a divisional game. I understand it would have been close. And I said it was going to be close. But I also said that in the second half, this team would pull away because they're the better team. What does that do now? The conversation that needs to be had is that this Texans team now has to play at Jacksonville. I don't know if they can win that game. Bye week. They come home to play Miami. Miami's healthy. Tua is doing his thing. They dropped some points on the New England Patriots. Some points, I mean like 30 points, okay, and did their thing. I don't know if the Texans could beat that team. Then you have at Kansas City. I don't see them beating Kansas City. I don't know if they can even compete with them. Versus Baltimore, Netflix. You're going to have the whole world watching because Beyonce is going to be performing at halftime, and you might get your ass whooped by Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. That's not a fun game. And then at Tennessee, I can't see the Texans losing twice to Tennessee, but hell, it wouldn't shock me. At the end of the day, none of this is shocking. This is nothing new. We had the same conversation every single week now with the Houston Texans. I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated. As you can see, it is just numbing to this point that this Texans team, 7-5, lost to the Tennessee Titans. They were going to lose a game they shouldn't. And I thought that game was going to be the New York Jets. I thought they shouldn't have lost that game, but they ended up doing it. And it is what it is. Aaron Rodgers, I could make excuses for that game. But you lose to the Tennessee Titans, a team in Will Levis that made you look like horse shit. They made the defense look horrible. But I can't put it on the defense because offensively, they got to show up. C.J. Stroud ain't showing up. The O-line is abysmal, and Bobby Slowick is horrible. At the end of the day, this is what the Texans are. They are a cooked team. The rest of this season, you pack it up. Unless the gods hand down some sort of drastic improvements for the offensive line, then you can move forward. But as of right now, that's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen, Texans fan. This is what you got moving forward, and this team is cooked. The season is cooked. The offense is done, and you might as well pack it up. The Texans will be a wild card exit, maybe divisional round exit because the defense is that good. We'll see. The Texans dropped the game against the Tennessee Titans, who gave you multiple opportunities to win this game, and you just decided C.J. Stroud had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and he let it fumble through his hands multiple times. The Texans drop a loss in an embarrassing way, and man, it does not feel good to be a fan right now. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.